Om Namah Shivaya, Jai Ganesh. This is Manoj. Thank you for coming. Uh, so we're going to start like very focused meditation, contemplation, teachings on murtis because there's something called Zoom fatigue, and people are finding out that if you do a really long Zoom session for an hour, there's a glitch in the attention span, and then you have pets, dogs you want to pet, or you want to do some cooking or use the bathroom. It's very different than our retreats. Our retreats are people are focused and they engage. There's a lot of group participation. So we want to kind of foster that environment. So studies have shown that Zoom ideally should be one third of in-person meeting to foster the attention span and even group participation. So we're going to try that out. Hence the 20 minutes instead of the usual 1 hour. So I'm going to start with a little explanation on the Murti. And if you have any comment, ask it right away, or you can wait after the 20 minutes. So I'm going to talk about the dancing Shiva or Nataraj. And we're going to do a meditation slash contemplation on the Murti, going over the symbols and then what it means to your life with what's going on today. That's the most relevant thing. And Kurt, if you can zoom into the Murti, please. So we have a beautiful 20-inch Nataraj, and it's in a silver gold finish, so you can see all the symbols. And the thing you see for people who are absolutely new to the Murti, there's a lot of motion, hand gestures. It appears chaotic, but there's actually a method to all this. The whole Indian classical dance, such as Bharatnatyam, Odissi, Kuchipudi, they're all based on this dance. And there's actually an order to this dance. And when you view this Shiva as your archetype, okay, the dancing Shiva is within you, deep inside as your archetype, aka Carl Jung, it starts to make sense. And the archetype of the dancing Shiva is about transformation. Never be content with the status quo. Never rest on your laurels. Always be transforming. But then there's a newly discovered law in physics called constructal law, like the word construction, constructal law. And the guy got a Benjamin Franklin Award in physics, invented by an engineer, mechanical engineer. It's like, there's a order in things. Like when you see a tree without leaves, the branches going here and there. Uh, and then you see it looks like nerve endings in a human body, or it can look at subway lines, so there's a pattern in the universe, and that pattern is shown by this dancing Shiva. And this is also there in CERN, Switzerland, where they discovered the Higgs boson. There's a 6 foot dancing Shiva. There's a lot of physics in there. It explains a lot of order in the cosmos. So he's a cosmic dancer. But I'm going to focus more on the archetypical energy within us. So there's a few key symbols I want you to look at before we start the meditation. Okay. One is the circle around Shiva. The second is what he's holding in his hand, the flame. The third is what he's holding in his right hand, the drum. It's a two-sided drum, two triangles. They are almost touching each other. Then the fourth is the hair like dreadlocks on either side. The fifth is the cobras around him. The sixth is the hand gesture like this. The seventh is one hand going to his feet. The eighth is 1 foot going up. The ninth is 1 foot down. And the 10th is this figure at the bottom. So I gave you a little rundown on all these symbols, and we're going to go through that with the meditation contemplation. So Om Namah Shivaya. Kurt, please zoom back on me. So I know some of you have lighted incense, and we have lit incense also in our temple. Our temple is in San Diego. Some of you have been here, and try and be barefoot. Please try not to have any distractions, and place your feet on the ground. So there's a grounding element. Shiva is the lord of the five elements. Nama Shivaya, five elements. So Na is the earth element, and Ya is the ether element. Nama Shivaya, five elements. So ground yourself, feet on the ground, remove any footwear ideally, and just be comfortable, back straight, your hands palm upwards, and close your eyes, please. Just take a deep breath and send out an exhale. Try to make the exhale longer than your inhale. Om Namah Shivaya. So exhale when I chant this mantra. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Keep inhaling, exhaling. Exhale longer. The mantra puts you in the gap, the space between your thoughts. The five elements can be related to the five koshas, the five layers, the Annamaya kosha, body, the Pranamaya kosha, the pranic layer, the Manomaya kosha, the mind layer, the Vijnanamaya kosha, the intellect layer, and finally the Anandamaya kosha, the deep sleep, joy layer. So each time you chant the mantra, you're penetrating these five layers and going into the oneness, the collective unconscious of Kali Yuga. Om Namah Shivaya. Just be silent and listen to my mantra. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Let the mantra be the windshield wiper of the thoughts that come up. Let the thoughts come up. Just gently wipe them away. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Just be. I hear the buzzing in my head. It sounds like a whirring transformer or an air conditioner. That's called Nada Brahman, the sound of consciousness. I hear that, especially in a group meditation. It goes beyond time and space because we're connected to the heart. The dancing Shiva or the Nataraja, the only temple is in Chidambaram, Tamil Nadu. And that's the heart of the universe. That's literally the meaning of the word Chidambaram. In the mantra, Om Namah Shivaya, Shiva means the auspicious nature of consciousness. There's something auspicious. So Nama means you're bowing, Namaste, to the awe-inspiring, auspicious consciousness everywhere. But then it can also mean Nama, not me, not this body mind. I am Shiva. I am Shiva. Ideally, in this meditation and after, you get to a point where there's no difference between you and the dancer. It's a duet of one. The dancer and the dance become the same thing. Gently open your eyes and look at the Shiva Murti in front of you. This is called a deity yoga practice. It's often used in Tibetan Buddhism. So I'm going to run down the symbols. The circle is the world each of us encounters. And right now there's a collective karma going on with the world. We're all facing a massive knee to the neck because of perhaps the pandemic, because of other feelings that come up. So there's a collective karma. It's called prarabdha karma. So that's the world we encounter. However, each of us feels it in a different way. So the circle is a world each of us individually encounters, even though there's one collective karma going on. And remember, this is an archetype for transformation. So for transformation, there has to be like a slow burn. This is a time for slow burn. No need to do anything radical. So the flame Shiva holds in his left hand is that sankalpa, that burning intention. We want to transform. That transformation can be a deep spiritual transformation. It can be activism. It can be a new career path. We have to evolve. Jobs are changing because of what's going on. So the message of Shiva is always evolve, never be stagnant. So that's the flame. The drum is the vibrational nature of transformation. The hair represents unbounded freedom. Who you are is a free being. You're not tied to. Even though you may appear tied, there's a freedom within you, which each of us wants. And the name for this freedom is actually Ananda Tandava, the dance of joy. That's the another name for this Murti. Nataraj is also called the dance of joy. Nata means the dance, Raj is the king. And then, so the upper part is about creation. And there are two parts of the dance. One is called Lasya. Lasya means more softer. And that's the energy I want to bring in today's times. A little more softer transformation, no violence. But then at the bottom, he pushes down on this being of forgetfulness called apasmara, the stuff that paralyzes us, makes us not able to change. And what he is doing, and I'm saying you have to imagine yourself as Shiva, as your archetype. You actually do a big push down on this one. So this is called Tandava. Tandava is a forceful dance. So one has to be a little forceful when it matters. Here it's lasya most often. The thing what happens is we also start to have a lot of fear, anxiety about what's going to happen to our lives, what's going to happen to the world, what's going to happen to our desire for transformation. So Shiva offers a solution. What he does is he does this. This is called Sharanagati Mudra, where he points to his feet. Okay. What that means, he's saying is let it go, surrender. And that is the most important thing we can do on our journey. When you look at this gesture, this is my main takeaway. And I want you to contemplate what would be your takeaway in the symbolic journey. So my takeaway is you got to let go of the results. And that can put you in the flow state. It's what is called autotelic state. Telios means not focusing on the results. So this is karma yoga. You're fully living in the present. And this also means let it go, surrender, sharanagati mudra. Let go of any expectations, live in the moment, allow Shiva as Ishvara to decide. When you truly do that, with the other hand, is doing the apasmara, which is fearlessness. You stop worrying, you stop getting the fear and anxiety. You start to live from the perspective of the self. And that self is the unchanging. Okay, that unchanging is the heart element right here. Because the center of the circle is the heart. The heart is the entity within us where pure consciousness resides. And this dance teaches us to be in the flow state where when you start living from the heart and realize life is a dance, do not make it a drama. The flow state, as mentioned by the psychologist Mihaly, he said you can get into the flow state and the feel good transmitters bubble up, such as dopamine, norepinephrine, endorphins. There's even a neurotransmitter called anandamide, the joy. And there's another one called uh, the serotonin, which is a little more of an afterglow effect. So to me, this dance is about being in the flow. Okay, that's the autotelios, where you start living day to day, moment to moment, by doing full on karma yoga. No expectations of the result. Autotelios means you enjoy that process itself, not the result. And it's a spiritual flow state. I'm not talking about flow state as opposed to like some musicians get into, artists get into. So to me, this dance is the ultimate dancer within us we can evoke. So I encourage you to chant this mantra, Om Namah Shivaya, and meditate in front of Shiva. It is very rare that a deity dances. Most deities are shown in like very peaceful postures. But when a deity dances, as I said at the beginning of my talk, it's called constructal physics. And constructal physics is there is always movement, there's always a flow. And when that movement stops, there is no life. So I'm encouraging you to live life as Shiva, the ultimate dancer. Om Namah Shivaya.